There's no need to spend 40 grand on a canopy. Today, in one episode, I'm gonna show you how we transform this is a Hilux N70 empty canopy and we turn it into something fully custom. Before I actually get into showing you a run through of the final result, even though you can see a little sneak peek here, I'm gonna actually start when this canopy was bare bones. It's 650 long, there was nothing in it, and we're gonna actually start with the rear lights. Let's go. It's a little bit out of order, but we're gonna chuck on some rear lights. They're gonna go on the back of the canopy. There's gonna be a switch inside, basically floodlights for camping, give heaps of light at the rear of the vehicle. So these are two brand new ones, actually XTM. They're really good. Really good quality actually. I'm very surprised and very impressed by XTM. Basically they come with one bracket per light that goes in, and then you can adjust it up and down, so very simple. Some of these lights are really good, but they don't give you the level of adjustment that these give you. It's got a Deutsch plug, and then it's got that connector with a positive and negative. I might end up cutting this off because I'm going to put the wiring through the rear canopy wall and then hook it up, and obviously I don't want to drill a hole so big that I've got to fit a big Deutsch plug through. I only want to drill a hole that I can fit through the positive and negative from this, nice and small, probably about 5 mil. So I'll go ahead, put these in now, and I'll show you once they're done. Got the lights in, the angle down. Now all I got to do is feed this wire through. Now I don't want to just feed it through because that'd be a little bit ugly, but what I've bought is basically some cable glands. So I've actually got a pack of them here, I'll show you. This is basically a pack that I bought literally off eBay, and you just choose your right side, and this will make it waterproof and also just make it look really good. So I'll find my selection now, and I'll drill a few quite big holes for this, and then we'll work out how they go in. The first job on the canopy is officially done. We've got the XTM lights in. The glands, or the cable glands actually were so good. It just makes it look super neat and tidy. Now inside, obviously there's still open wires and it's not wired in yet, but we'll get to that shortly. Alrighty guys, it is the next day now, and I am starting to make my cuts and my measurements for what will be the headboard. So as you can see, I'm doing this at home just with some very basic hand tools. I am by no means a pro. Now I've used a little bit of framing timber. This is 70 by 30, actually it might be 90 by 30, to frame up the headboard and really give a space between the canopy and the headboard. Again, I'm using 12 mil ply, cut out my sections either side, and then I'll cut out my middle section. Now the framing, I'm just using brackets, using wood screws, and then Tech screws into the aluminium of the canopy. So it is literally that simple, but it'll just give me heaps of room to run all my wires and just make everything, basically hide everything to make it look neat and tidy. There's also a gap up the top here, and I've done that strategically. I haven't gone all the way up because I'm going to have wires for the lights, or even right now you can probably see there's a wire here for the I think it's for the locks on the doors, but that can even sneak through. It's not going to, you're not even going to notice it. So I'm going to mock up this one now, and then the board's going to be done. Basically a couple of sections, it's going to be held on by screws. It'll be super strong, super tight. It'll all be carpeted, so it's going to be really neat as well. Well, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. It looks unreal. So now I can start to get the electronics on it. And I just got to now work out my layout, because I've got my fridge slide, still got to get a pantry, and then I'll work out where the wall is for a couple of drawers on this side. Now the switch panel that I'm going to be running in this, and I'll get to the 12 volt shortly, but I'm just installing a couple of things. This is actually like a touch, it's like a 6-gang touch pad. There's an on-off button, and then there's a whole bunch that you can basically put them to whatever you want. I've already put the module in behind here, and then it's just one lead going to the switch panel. So what I'm going to do is, it comes with a bracket, but it sits away from the wall about 5 centimeters, which I don't like. I want it flush. So right now I'm just drilling out a hole. That's going to go there. I've made up some custom brackets, basically just straight bit of metal, it's not really a bracket, with 2 holes attached to the back of this, and it'll go left and right. I've also got a solar output. This is like an Anderson out that I'll connect to the solar. My DC-DC charger hasn't arrived yet, so I can't put that in today, but I figure I'll get this in just to make it start to look and feel like a canopy. Change these custom brackets now. They just screw into the back. I painted the front black, and then my screw will go straight over there, and that should look really neat and tidy. There we have our switch panel. It's screwed in. That's not going anywhere. You can easily touch. There's actually stickers to go over here. Look, I'm not going to build a false floor in this because it just, 1, takes a little bit too much time, but 2, I actually don't need a false floor and we can save weight. So with that, I've actually got to work out a way to raise the fridge slide because there's a lip here of about maybe 30 mil. So what I've done is I've just basically got 2x4. That wasn't big enough, so I've got some 12 mil ply on top of that. Now these will be painted, but this is just to mock it up right now. And then they're gonna sit down like this, and we'll just make sure that it all clears. It's not the world's lightest fridge slide, I'll definitely say that. Alrighty, that clears. So basically what I'll do is with these 2 runners, I'll use right angle brackets. I'll screw into the wood and then I'll pot rivet into the floor of the canopy. That way there's actually even a little bit of room under here that you can store some stuff too. So a little bit more space and saves weight.
I think one of the hardest parts about DIY is just taking the time to paint everything, let it dry, paint again, do another coat. I mean, even to make things look good, I painted all the brackets black as well. You can see here that I'm installing the brackets to the little headboard that I'm making. This is really just so you don't see the raw wood and just makes it a nicer finish.
So this is what it looks like. Nothing's bolted down yet, and boom! Look what we've got here. We have a slide out pantry. This is from Ridge Rider. It was $300. I reckon it is absolute cheap as chips. Now it looks a bit weird because there's a wall, nothing there, and then this, but once we get the fridge in there, it'll look beautiful. All of that will have a wall to it as well. But this thing, haven't bolted down, just working out the position of it, because basically the plan is one wall all the way down, but it's sticking with the nice black theme. I am very happy with that. Well, it is solar time. So inside the canopy, we're pretty much done with all the wiring. Now I didn't film a bunch of it purely because it's pretty boring. You've seen me crimp, you've seen me put heat shrink on 1,000 times, so I didn't think I'd bore you with that again. But it's looking really good. I'll give you a full run through later on. We're up to solar. So I have a 160 watt solar panel from Kings, and I've also got the mounting brackets. You actually have to buy them separately, which I think is a bit of a rort. It's a bit of a big boy. We'll see how the Kings ones go. I think it was $90 for the total. It's going to sit up on the roof, obviously, and we're going to pot rivet it in. We'll make sure we use sealant to make sure that it's all waterproof, and then we're going to run the wires through, and that's going to connect directly into our Kings 25 amp DC-DC charger. So we'll get that on the roof now. We'll pop it in.
So I put the solar panel on the roof, and of course I had to make sure I measure it because I know I'm going to get drone shots of this, and if it's out, I won't be happy with myself. So drill through the roof. I'm just using all-purpose sealant here before you put the pot rivet. That way it gets in, make sure it's all waterproof. Put my pot rivet in, and then I've got my trusty blue point to make sure that bad boy isn't going anywhere.
The solar panel is all on now, so that means we can actually work to connecting it. So as you can see, let me flick the camera. So as you can see here, we've got the Kings. This is the 25 amp DC-DC charger. It is a bit ugly. I did want to hide it, but you're kind of crucial to see whether you've got a fault, solar or alternator input. So kind of just need to leave that there. We now have power to our switches, and I don't know whether you can see that as well. Actually, let me bring on some light. So you can see that we're drawing now 1.4. I haven't got the solar connected, and these are all working now as well. Now, in behind here, where all the magic happens, it may look a bit messy, but that's okay. I have, coming from the DC-DC, one of these here. This is the solar input, the green. Now, what I'm basically going to do is, because this comes up here, I'm going to drill holes through here, put my bungs, and then I'm going to go straight down, and it can connect from the solar panel straight to this Anderson plug. Now, if I lift it up, I should. There's not too much sun at the moment, so I'm only the solar panel is literally all in sun, so I'm not even getting an amp, but I am registering some input from the solar panel, which is a good thing. It means it's all working. So the only other connection that I have for the DC-DC charger before I can basically close this panel up for good is the alternator, which I don't have any long reel cable for that yet, so I've got to work out my plan. But I think I might move on to something else now. I made a little bit of a cut for the wall, so I've got 820 out from here, and we're going all the way up and actually to the other side of the like the box tube, so then I can actually mount it, so I can actually mount it and drill in from the other side. I'll be able to do that quite easily into the box section. Obviously I've got to work out the height of my drawers, where my drawers go to, so they won't be too deep, but they'll be pretty big. So now I just need to work out my height, and then I need to get a bench for them. But whilst that's happening, I might actually paint this and carpet the backside. This side isn't carpeted yet because I'm not sure how high it'll be, so I'll carpet it'll probably go up to there somewhere, and then I'll carpet that strip after the fact. The other side is already carpeted. I've painted the edges of what you're going to see, the black. It's all looking really, really good. Now I'm going to, this is a little trick as to how to mount these. Basically, I've just got right angle brackets, and I'm going to pot rivet them. Pot rivet goes through, pot rivet that straight down. You just need to be careful where you're putting your brackets to make sure that it's not going to impede with where you want any of your walls to go. So, and then you screw it in. So I'm going to do that now.
It's really starting to come together, and I thought I would show you how I actually glue my wood down to the carpet. The key is use a lot of glue. Don't just do a little bit here and there, and you want to spread it everywhere. Whilst that's drying, I put up the walls, again, a whole bunch of brackets and screws, and after a couple of hours, I can then trim the carpet and put the top on.
So I don't know whether you can see in there, but it is now all carpeted. I've just got a couple of clamps and a bit of wood holding it just as the glue dries. So far, it's looking really, really good. I think tomorrow, now I can start with these drawers, and then once the drawers are done, all I need to do is add the light. So I've still got a fair bit of work to do, but it's coming along so well. But it'll be another day for me. For you, it'll be a second.
Again, we are back to painting. It's painting, and more painting, and after a while it gets a bit boring, but it makes a whole lot of difference. As you can see, I'm actually putting the front on our drawers, so I line it up and then I just use a couple of pins. I also screw this down to make it really strong. I mean, you can look at the mess that I make as well, but here is some satisfying cleaning for you. Next, it was time to cut out the carpet for the handle. So I've obviously already made the cut of the wood. Now it's just time to install that Dun & Watson handle.
You can probably see one sneaky little drawer already in, but I'm just adding the bottom section. So obviously the drawer goes only to here, just so I can pass this rubber, but you just don't want an open space. So basically just make up a little spacer. It's literally just, again, 12mm plywood, 2 brackets on the end that will attach into the wall. You can also put a bracket in the bottom and pot rivet into the floor if yours moves around a lot. Carpet on the front, all painted except for the underside because I had to make a bit of an adjustment. So we'll put this in now and I'll show you how it fits. So I'll just do my bracket on this side, 2 brackets, that. Will sit in like here, nice and flush to the ground. Before I do this, I'm just going to take off my tape, just so I don't have to worry about that later. And there you have it. So now I'm going to screw that in, and then I'll get on and I'll show you the drawers once they're done. So one thing when you're doing canopy builds is it's all about the little details that when you're looking at the back and you open that canopy door, you just see a beautiful end product. Now, one of those little details that I'm going to do for this is you can see that we've got this space between the canopy and where the drawers start. That's obviously to allow for the latch. But down here, we've just got a black floor. Now, I'm going to leave the section where we chuck all the swags and whatnot. That's going to stay. We've got some rubber mats, so that's all going to stay there. But here, I thought, how can we make it look better? We're going to add a strip of carpet, just like that, to the bottom of this floor. Now, we can obviously glue this in, or we can also just leave it floating. Because it's wedged in there, it's not going to go anywhere. But just little things like that make a huge difference. As you can see, these drawers here are now done, and this side of the canopy is pretty much complete. So let me just quickly walk you through. I'm under a bit of a time pressure, that's why I didn't film heaps with the drawers. I have a previous canopy where I go through how I actually build these. So we've got 2 drawers. They're Dun & Watson handles. They're about $50 a handle, so it's not the cheapest handles. We're using 12mm ply, and we're using marine carpet that we all got from Bunnings. So the drawers themselves, they're very deep and shallow, so they could actually probably fit a real good carton of beer in here as well. But perfect for clothes, perfect for food as well. Really good pantry. Mark loves his fishing, so a lot of these, probably one's going to be his clothes, and the other one he can fill up with heaps of fishing gear. I'm sure he will. Now up here, there's heaps of room to store stuff. The beauty about it is because each sides, they're actually all plywood, so you can screw things to it. So I'm thinking I might even get an axe and probably a fire blanket as well, just to keep up here out of the way. Really quite a handy thing. So overall, I'm really happy. Well, there you have it. The build is complete. So now I'm going to give you a bit of a walkthrough and just talk through a couple of the design decisions, why I went with what I went. Even the first question is, why did I go with plywood? You can actually spend, you know, 30, 40 grand on getting this amazing canopy, and they are really good. But for the majority of us, especially me, I don't have the budget for that. So I said to Mark, who owns this car, I said, let's go with plywood. That way we can make it fully custom. The modular designs are really good, but we need something to actually fit the space. That's why we went with plywood, and we went with 12mm thick. You can go 17, but the thicker it is, one, takes up more space, but also it's actually more weight. So I just find the 12mm, it does us justice. Now, we're on the living side, or sorry, no, we're not on the living side, we're on the driver's side. So this is basically the storage. This is probably the bit that I'm the most proud of. We've got 2 drawers, we've got a partition wall here, 2 drawers. These are really good. They're pretty deep. You can probably put a carton in here. There's good size. At the moment, I've just got a bit of camera gear, but that'll all be taken out when I hand this over to Mark. Now, I've used the Dun & Watson handles. These are about $50 each. I've got marine carpet. All this can get, you know, not wet, obviously, because underneath it's still plywood, even though it's sealed with paint. You know, you don't want to be getting it all wet, but you can chuck some stuff on here. It'll dry nicely. The carpet will anyway. Up here, we can easily screw things to it. I'm obviously yet to put the lights in because, well, they just haven't come yet. I've ordered them from Perth Diesel Performance, PDP, but they'll come here. I've used their lights before, which is really good. One of the main things at this canopy is Mark wanted a space at the end, basically a big enough space so he can chuck in a swag. They can chuck in the pram. Really good grandparents. How good's that? Just basically anything dirty, any loose gear, they can chuck, and that's exactly what we designed the back for. So I'm really, really happy with how this has come out. Oh, let me show you this little secret compartment as well. You would have seen obviously when I was building it, but down here, there's actually 2 finger holes, and I can pop this out. Now, it's not a drawer as such. I needed to, you know, make the wall of the drawer just to account for the hinge and the brackets of the door. But in here, if you've got any, you know, hoses, some spares that you normally carry for your car, things that you're not actually going, you know, you're not in and out every day, you can simply pop off that panel, and then in behind there you can store your stuff. Just little things like that, extra little bit of storage that goes a long way. I think that's all from the driver's side, but now let me go to the living side where we've got our fridge slide and our pantry. In here, now excuse the sun, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got a bunch of stuff happening in here, and I want to kind of talk you through it. Basically, didn't want an upright fridge just for, well, no real reason. It's just people have a preference whether they like the upright or the chest. We've got an XTM fridge slide. I like the XTM one because it's actually got a little lock as well, not just the lock on the latch. So there, that's really good. I had to raise it up. I didn't do a false floor because of weight, but this looks really neat and tidy. I've carpeted the front of the raise. It just ties in nicely. Now, we've got a Ridge Rider. It's a one open, you know, it's a one hand open. I can literally, look at that, one hand, no dramas at all. It's got 3 shelves, bungee cord, carpet on the bottom. Look, 300 bucks from Super Cheap Auto. You can buy them for $500, $600, $700 ones. Some of them have stuff at the front. I actually don't like the look of ones that you can see your condiments. I like things to be tucked away, nice, neat and tidy. So we'll see how this one goes. If we get any problems with it, I'll be sure to let you know. Now, on this back panel here, we are running our 12 volt system. So we have a King's, basically King's everything, our switch panel and our fuse block. We've got an eBay battery monitor. So this here I think is about $80, $90 from eBay, and I'm running it in the Hilux, I'm running it in the Caravan. It hasn't missed a beat. These things are actually awesome. We've got a big boy 170 amp AGM battery. For what Mark and Leanne are going to use this for, running their fridge, they are going to have no worries with that 170 amp. That thing is going to keep them powered. We've also got on the roof a 160 watt solar panel that's going to help keep that charged. Now you will see here there's a bit of tape in this Anderson. That's because I actually haven't finished the build. I've got to mount that to the side there, and I've got to run the line to the battery to make sure we can charge the dual battery system from the Hilux's alternator. Apart from that, we've got our Anderson out. That's for additional solar blanket if we need more than 170. And we've also got some USB and USB-C sockets there as well. So if he needs to charge his phone, charge anything at camp, that's there for him. Look, it's a pretty simple, basic setup. There's nothing really too complex in this, but everything is nice, neat and compact, and I'm very happy. Well, there you have it, guys. That there is a full canopy build from start to finish. For me, it probably took about 4 weeks. That's mainly working on weekends to get it all done. There's a lot of work in the electrical system, but I hope you really enjoyed this. I tried hard not to split it out into 2 episodes, just to make sure that you guys got the maximum viewing pleasure. Kookaburras are laughing, which is telling me it's time to go. It would be a joke if you didn't subscribe. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya.